Okay. Any Gambian citizen who denies the Gambia to join the Sahel Alliance is a bad citizen. Greetings, Honorable Speaker. This is going to be the guideline of my debate. First and foremost, I will start by introducing the motion, define the key terminologies, give a brief motor, establish my logical points as to why I am fully in support of the motion, give a how, summarize the summary as I conclude. Mr. Speaker, following my structure, to introduce the motion, this House, as the Gambia, will join the Sahel Alliance. And one of the fundamental key terminologies is the Gambia. The Gambia is a country in West Africa colonized by England and has a population of 2.8 million. And the second key terminology is will, which means expressing strong intentions about the future decisions. And the third key terminology is join, which means to come together to form a whole. And the final key terminology is Sahel Alliance. These are anti-neocolonialism countries within West Africa, like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, etc., that are committed to the promotion of good governance. My definitions are backed by the African Union. Mr. Speaker, strictly following my structure, that is to give a pre-rebuttal. I am very sure that my opponents here would come and say the Gambia should not, because most countries within the Sahel Alliance came to power through illegal means. But you have to understand one thing. If those who were given the mandate to change the lives of the citizens of their country do not do what is expected of them, then they would remain with no other choice but then to remove the government from power, and that is through the banning of the gun. And if that point is still given, then it would be required as illogical and it wouldn't hold any water. Strictly following my structure, one of the fundamental reasons as to why I am fully in support of the motion, that is, this House at the Gambia will join the Sahel Alliance, is to benefit from educational assistance. Mr. Speaker, why do I say educational assistance? Because if you come to the Gambia, you will realize that our education is more or less Western centered. We are educated in order to serve the West than to serve ourselves. I would call it a colonial cobweb. So the Gambia joining the Sahel is going to ensure that Gambians learn about African culture. They are more oriented about themselves and not about the European. Still under education, this is also going to ensure that we have assistance in the area of scholarships. We realize that many Gambians have the problem to further their education, and this is going to further allow Gambians to travel within the countries in the Sahel Alliance to be able to benefit from the education. And they will also have, still under scholarship, the Gambians are going to benefit from stipends, because recently we've seen, it has been reported by the Standard newspaper that February 2025, Ibrahim Traore granted students to receive stipends, unknown students I mean. We as university students, it has been clearly seen that our government can do little or more in the area of assisting us to have stipends. Students who know that they are not having jobs, how do you expect those people to thrive and focus? And this is what in fact makes some of them to be having 2-3 jobs and could not focus or do well when they are on their studies. Aside education, my second logical point is to free us from the circles of neocolonialism. Yes, we understand that most of the decisions that are made in the Gambia are usually made not because we want, but because the West influence us, and this makes us to make some of these decisions. A classic example is the FGM, because you will realize that the FGM is something that aligns with our traditions and culture, but because of the influence of the European Union giving us money, this later made us to succumb to what they want. Mr. Speaker, still under neocolonialism, putting an end to it, we realized that according to the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, the Gambia has a debt of about 100, sit down, the Gambia has a debt of about 111 billion, and this will be brought to an end, and that is through the assistance that we are going to have from countries within the Sahel Alliance. And also, they are going to, still under ending neocolonialism, they are going to assist us in order to carry out some of the projects without relying on debts or loans from the EU, IMF, and etc., because these debts comes along with interest. Mr. Speaker, according to the Eye on Africa TV, the Sahel states have a goal that is worth 500 trillion that can salvage West African states. So this is clear and evident that they would be able to put an end to neocolonialism and also support the Gambia almost in all ways. My third point, Mr. Speaker, is to bring about Pan-Africanism, because we realize that Africa as a continent has been divided into different segments. But then if we have Sahel alliances, coming together, forming a unity and a small portion. And then this would in fact influence all African countries to also follow their footsteps. Because in my definition I say, these countries are committed to the promotion of good governance. And this will later make many African countries to join, and this will later promote good governance. Mr. Speaker, it has in fact, this will later make sure that Africans are respected. Because according to the Iron Africa TV, December 2020, we've seen individuals like George Floyd, Patrice Lumumba, Gaddafi, whom their rights were being violated, and nothing has been done. So the Union of Africa is going to ensure that it doesn't only benefit the Gambia, but also it benefits from all African countries. My fourth fundamental point is to promote good governance. Like I said, these people came to power because there was a government within their country. They were not doing what is expected of them. They were violating the rights of individuals, looting their money, and etc. They were involved in corruption, like countries like Niger. We've seen the reason why Mohamed Bazoum was removed from power, because he was a puppet to the West. So, this is going to promote good governance, because we have in fact seen people like Ibrahim Traore, whom that he was able to publish the assets that he had. But in the Gambia, it was an opposite, because according to the Status newspaper, that May 2025, the illegal sale of Japanese assets were published by the Republic, just in the same you couldn't imagine. So joining this people is going to definitely benefit us. Mr. Speaker, without wasting more time, I will move down to tell you how we are going to do this. In fact, they've already at the side area, they've already had their meeting. And on the 25th of next month, they're going to have their second meeting. And how are they going to do this? They're going to put forward conditions that are going to be followed in order to ensure the countries join the election. One of which is they will conduct elections to have the public mandate. And secondly, they're going to ensure that any country that joins the sovereignty, the Sahel state, is a sovereign state. And this would then benefit them. Mr. Speaker, I will now move on to, since I've done justice to the instruction I've given, I'll move on to give summary of my debate. First and foremost, I started by introducing the motion, which was my responsibility. Then I moved on to defend the key terms where Gambia will join. And then I was able to establish 4 points. Educational assistance, the first one, the second one, free hospital, the second one, colonialism, the third one, bring about Pan-Africanism, the fourth one, promote good governance. And I gave a how. On that note, I rest my case.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. When the opposition leader is set, the House will be ready to hear from him. Yeah.
Most respected guests, Mr. Speaker, members of the House. In my capacity as the opposition leader of this House, Mr. Speaker, allow me to lay down the structure of my debate. First, Mr. Speaker, I will start by refuting all those bogus points which were brought forward by the Prime Minister. He thought he was making sense. Then give my solid point, take a POI, Mr. Speaker, if they have any. I summarize, then Mr. Speaker, in summary, I shall conclude. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister came here and made mention of if we join the Sahel, it will bring scholarship to us. Mr. Speaker, scholarship in what sense? Scholarship that MRC Holland is providing for us, stipend that MRC Holland is providing for us. We are citizens, we are here at MRC Holland and MRC Holland Foundation is giving us scholarship with stipend, and you are telling me joining countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is going to bring scholarship funds when they are even struggling in providing scholarship for their own students. Their own students are looking for scholarship outside this country, and you are telling me joining those countries are going to bring scholarship and stipend funds. He also made mention of FDM. FDM in what sense? Why are you bringing FDM in this agreement, Honorable Prime Minister? I will take that.
How many students do MRC Holland give scholarships?
MRC Holland gives thousands of students scholarship every year. How many UTG students have graduated from UTG and have benefited from the MRC Holland scholarship? Not just MRC Holland, even more, sit down and learn. I'm going to clear the mess you made here. Mr. Speaker, he also made mention of FDM. FDM in what sense? FDM which is a threat to our health, and he's bringing FDM in this sense. So, Mr. Prime Minister, all your those points are bogus and they are going to be kicked out of this house. You don't need them here. Mr. Speaker, I will go ahead to give you my solid points. Why this house, as the Gambia, will not join the Sahel Alliance. Mr. Speaker, first of my point I have, the upkeep of an alliance is out of the Gambia's economic bracket. Yes, Mr. Speaker. We all know that these countries that came together to join this alliance, to make the alliance stand, must have come up with something. Mr. Speaker, to join this alliance, it was reported by the BBC published on the 16th of January 2024. An annual contribution of 25 million should be contributed by every country that joins this alliance. Mr. Speaker, we all know Gambia as an underdeveloped country. That 25 million that we will contribute annually to be maintained in this alliance, we can use that in developing our country to maintain sustainable development. We have things like healthcare that we should focus on. We have things like quality education that we should focus on. So instead of joining this alliance, we all know how the economy of the Gambia is. So joining this alliance and every year, annually contributing $25 million, that is a huge amount of money that we can invest in our own country and have a very good sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, second on my point I have, it is a threat to our national security. Yes, Mr. Speaker. If you join with an alliance, and you have to pay, you have to be involved in the alliance. If you join an alliance with countries, you have to be involved in affairs of that country. Mr. Speaker, he made mention of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. I did sit down and learn. He made mention of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and we all know how Mali is being, how Niger is being involved in civil classes. Mr. Speaker, if we join this country, we are sending our own soldiers to these countries for peacekeeping. So if we join these countries, I will not send in our sit down and learn. I will not send in our own soldiers to go there for peacekeeping, which is a threat to our own security. Mr. Speaker, we know Gambia as one of the most peaceful countries in West Africa. It is given the name the Smiling Coast of Africa. It is given the name the Smiling Coast of Africa. Mr. Speaker, according to world record, Gambia is the seventh most peaceful country in the whole worldwide. So if Gambia is a peaceful country and we can alliance with countries that are involved in civil classes, we are sending our own securities there. It is going to be a threat to our own country. Mr. Speaker, if a country is in war with other countries, we are sending our own soldiers to go and fight for those people. It is going to bring hatred between that country and our own country. Are we going to risk our security for a mere country? You people need to learn, sit down and stop asking with your eyes. Mr. Speaker, third on my point I have, we will lose more than we will gain, Mr. Speaker, if we join this alliance. Mr. Speaker, there are things that we need currently in this country. Let us focus on that. Instead of joining this country that they are not going to benefit us in any way. Joining Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are not bringing anything that we need currently in this country. Mr. Speaker, we all know what we need currently. Standard education, good healthcare, and everything that we need in this country. So joining alliance with this country that they will not bring our instant needs to us. Makes no sense, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, instead of focusing on joining the Sahel Alliance with this country, why not we push or accelerate the Gambian-Spain agreement that is already. Why not we push that agreement so that all our citizens will have to sit down and learn, so that our citizens, Mr. Speaker, will have employment opportunities as it is been stated in the agreement. If we push the Gambian-Spain agreement, it's even better than joining the Sahel Alliance. If we push this Gambian-Spain agreement, Mr. Speaker, our citizens are going to have more employment opportunities. We know how employment opportunities is lacking in this country. So focusing on pushing the Gambian-Spain agreement will bring us more benefit than joining this Sahel Alliance that the so-called government members are coming here to tell us about. Mr. Speaker, I would love to summarize. Mr. Speaker, I start by of an alliance is out of the Gambia's economic bracket. Mr. Speaker, Gambia is an underdeveloped country. So taking that $25 million and contributing it in something which will bring us no benefit makes no sense. That 25 million, if we take it and invest it in our country, will make more sense. Mr. Speaker, I also make mention of it is a threat to our national security. Obviously, yes. If we join an alliance with other countries and they are involved in war, obviously we are sending our soldiers to go and help them. Mr. Speaker, in helping those people, Mr. Speaker, our own country is going to be a threat. Let's take an example of Ukraine. If Ukraine has not joined the NATO agreement, Ukraine will have not been fighting war with Russia. Look at what Russia is doing to Ukraine. You want us to join Sahel? A reflection of what is happening to Ukraine is going to happen to us, and we don't want that in our country. Mr. Speaker, my third point is we will lose more than we will gain, Mr. Speaker, in the sense that if we want to join an alliance, we will join in countries that will provide us more benefits than joining Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, countries that will provide us our instant needs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in summarize, I conclude by saying this House will not, by saying we will not join the Sahel Alliance.
Thank you very much, Opposition Leader. The House is ready to hear from the Deputy Prime Minister. Sorry, Deputy Prime Minister. Opposition Leader, what is the first name? Deputy Prime Minister, if you accept, we are ready to hear from you.
Speaker of the House, honorable protocols duly and respectfully observed. In my capacity as the Deputy Prime Minister, allow me to give you the structure of my debate. First, I will start by repeating the business and useless point put forward by the unfortunate opposition leader of this House, strengthening the point put forward by the Prime Minister of this House, give my own point, summarize, and in summary, I shall conclude. Speaker of the House, I'm going using the structure that I've given. The opposition leader came here and by repeating the points of the Prime Minister made mention of the MRC Holland giving scholarship of that to the students of the Gambia. When MRC Holland, when they given scholarship, their condition is you should be focused on the science field, neglecting the African, the arts field. And the focus of our government is that As Africans, we should not neglect art skill because that is where we belong, that is where we promote Africanism and many more. She also made mention of that the upkeep of the island is out of our budget. She made mention that we have to pay 25 million every year, but that is not true. She did not back it by any fact, and she did not quote from any news outlet. In fact, if you join the Sahel state, you are going to, there is no crew attached to it. In fact, before we start, when the Prime Minister came here, he made sure that stand up before to accept you and shame yourself. What evidence do you have? Because you do not bring anything forward. Moving forward, threats to the she made mention of the threats to our security. We clearly mentioned that before we join the Sahel states, we are going to make sure that the Sahel countries in those Sahel states conduct elections and they should be a sovereign state. We clearly point to the fact that we as a government, we prioritize the security of the country of the Gambia, and it's number one on our top priorities. So the point that she brought forward is focused and does not stand as far as this house is concerned. Moving on, she also was talking about the Gambia and calling us underdeveloped. In fact, that is an insult to every citizen of this country because Gambia is not underdeveloped, we are a developing country. Moving forward, she said when we join the Sahel state, we are going to lose more than what we gain. How? She did not mention. Because clearly, we are seeing that we are joining the Sahel state to get things like employment opportunities, scholarship, education, which clearly shows that we are going to gain and not to lose. We are not paying dues, we are not paying anything. It's just the promotion of African countries that are going to fight against neocolonialism, coming together and promoting the rights of the people of the Gambia. Moving forward, she made mention that we should promote the alliance of the Spain and Gambia alliance. Basically, she's promoting domestic violence. Because the Gambia and Spain alliance, what work do they do there? Domestic works, washing the toilets, and cleaning. In fact, how many people are taken from the Gambia and taken to Spain? Less than 60 people compared to a population of 2.28 million. What is the difference? What difference does it make if those people, in fact, you're saying that every year we are going to take 60 people out of this country. You're clearly downgrading the effort that the Gambia could do for themselves if they join the Sahel state. Moving forward to setting the points of the Prime Minister, he made mention of the educational assistance, and this is so far very true because we've seen countries in the Sahel state, such as Burkina Faso, such as Niger, their education system since they are coming to power have significantly improved. This is a sign that if the Gambia join, we would improve. In fact, we matter that the Gambia will have to struggle with this, we matter that the Gambia will have to struggle with cable, because this is what the Gambia wants as a nation. We also made mention of the fact that it's free of from the suffering of neocolonialism, and this is very true. Because the countries in the Sahel state, what are they? They are Burkina Faso, Niger, they came into the power because the people that were ruling them have been puppets to the Western. They have been given loans and in conditions, they are using the superior motive to get their own, to have their own priority being prioritized and that of the Africans being neglected. And this is why we as a government and the Prime Minister, the point that the Prime Minister brought forward is holds water and stands as far as this house is concerned. He also made mention of the promotion of Pan-Africanism. As Africans, our number one priority is to be able to promote our culture. And that is why as Gambians, we will join the Sahel state. And that is why I, as the Deputy Prime Minister of this house, said us as the government, including them as the opposition, they will join us, whether they like it or not, to join the Sahel state of this country. Next, what he said was the promotion of good governance. And that is very true. Because the reason why some of these people joined the Sahel state was because the countries where there was corruption and there was lack of accountability. And that is why when we join the Sahel state, we are going to promote the good governance in the Gambia, and the corruption would be free from the Gambia. Moving on to my own point is the promotion, I'll give the rundown first, promotion of social connections between these African countries, economic ties, promotion of the military base, and international relations. Starting with the first point, that is the promotion of social connection between these African states. If we join the Sahel state, what is going to happen? We are going to promote economic connection, ethnic connection. Thereby, countries from the Gambia, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, when they come together, they are going to exchange. They are going to people from different ethnic groups, from different countries, and this is going to promote ethnic connections and also save countries from tribalism. And also, it's going to promote cultural exchange because all these people from different countries have different cultures. So moving on to economic ties, the country in the Sahel state have increased significant success in terms of monetary fund. We take example of Mohamed Tarawali from Burkina Faso. When he came into office from 1 year ago, he has made sure that he declared 23 50% of the debt of Burkina Faso, thereby telling us, Gambia, we are not any less, because we have a debt of 110 billion. If you come and join the Sahel State, we can reduce down even 50 billion within 1 year of joining the Sahel State. And this is reported by Al-Kambadat on October 24, 2024. Moving on to the promotion of military base. When we look at the Ghana, we have a very weak military base system. This is because even if we have a fight, we have to go and come onto our neighboring countries to come and support us. And looking at these countries in the Sahel State, it is reported by BBC Focus on Africa that they have the most strongest military base. Meaning, if we join the Sahel State, we are going to promote our military base. We are going to have support from these African countries that that they are being ruled by the military and they know how the system can be run. Moving also on this by international relations. This, if we join the Sahel State, we are going to have been achieving our foreign policies, and this will help us to carry our project without any superior motive. Because if this is done by the West, they are going to have a superior motive. But if it's done by Africans ourselves, we are not going to have any superior motive. And this is one reason why we should free ourselves from the global north and join with people from the global south to be able to promote the economy of this country. And this is being reported by Al Jazeera and France 24. Speaker of the House, allow me to give you the rundown of my structure. First, I will start by repeating the president point brought forward by the opposition leader, selecting the points brought forward by the Prime Minister, give my own points, which are promotion of social connection between these African countries, economic ties, promotion of unity. Thank you.
Order. You can reserve the celebrations for later. Kindly accord the speakers some decorum. Some of them are really struggling to hear one another. So if we will really appreciate decorum from the audience. In other words, the gallery. Where is the gallery? Yes. Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. The House is ready to hear from the Deputy Opposition Leader. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, and all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. My name is Kutubomba, and in my capacity as Deputy Opposition Leader, this is the structure of my debate. First, I'm going to start by reporting the points made by the opponent government one by one. Then I'm going to strengthen the points made by the opposition leader, give my own points, take a POI if necessary, summarize and conclude. Mr. Speaker, to kick off with the reporters, we'll start with the Deputy Prime Minister, who did more bad than the Prime Minister. The Deputy Prime Minister came here when she was giving a rebuttal to the opposition leader. She said that Martin Holland is neglecting the arts, which is like, but what I'm going to tell you is to bring your attention to Mohas, which is giving 60% more scholarships to art students than science students. Mr. Speaker, you can stop from here to when you want to give us one-sided stories to say that MRCNL is giving scholarships to only science and business speaker. And the thing about government system is that MRCNL understands the importance of improving science and technology in a country. That is why they are prioritizing giving scholarships to science students. That is in no way discriminating the arts and business speakers, so that does not make any sense. Then she also talked about how the country is developing and it's not underdeveloped. Developing is a process. As long as you are still under the line of underdeveloped, we call you underdeveloped, but we are not denying that you are developing, heading towards development, Mr. Speaker. So she doesn't know what the difference between developing and development, Mr. Speaker. She also talked about the people that go to Spain are undergoing domestic violence, and her examples for these domestic violence was washing dishes, washing toilets, cleaning the floor. Mr. Speaker, then it makes sense to say that all of us are victims of domestic violence because we all do these things in our homes. Mr. Speaker, that does not make any sense. They also talked about how the Sahel Alliance is going to help to bring down our national notes, Mr. Speaker. Countries that are drowning in loan, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are drowning in loan. It's like the blind leading the blind, Mr. Speaker. That doesn't make any sense. Then they talked about Western countries have ulterior motives, Mr. Speaker. What the opening government failed to do was to tell us what we are also going to contribute when we go into Sahel business, Mr. Speaker, because it does not make any sense. So that when we join the Sahel alliances, we're not going to contribute in any way. That is why the opposition leader came here to tell you the contributions we are going to make once we join the Sahel regions. That is why it makes sense to say that every country that you are working, that you sign a treaty with, that you are in a contract with, they have ulterior motives, because that is just the system. Every government wants to make sure that their own government develops. So it all is fair in love and war. You cannot say that because other countries have ulterior motives. Your neighbor next to you doesn't have ulterior motives, Mr. Speaker. Then the Prime Minister talked about we are going to benefit from education and culture and how I want to make it very clear that neocolonialism does not pay the bills of a nation, Mr. Speaker. We've seen countries that have survived genocides like Rwanda. They didn't hold on to the growth of neocolonialism. Most people did this and they refused to develop. What they did was know their problems and move effectively forward on how they are going to take them, on how they are going to improve them, Mr. Speaker. Then she also talked about scholarship opportunities from these countries, Mr. Speaker. It does not make any sense. I'm going to give you a country that is providing endless scholarships to Gambian students and sending them back here to develop our country. That is India. India annually is sending, on a statistical basis, is sending more than 150 Gambian students to go and study in India and come back and help their own country. So, Mr. Speaker, we've never had any statistics, any report of Niger, Mali, or Burkina Faso providing scholarships for Gambian students to go on. It's basically, they're going to be learning the same thing that they are learning here, Mr. Speaker, not to downgrade their education system. Then we also talked about FG and how it's a protection of our tradition and culture. Mr. Speaker, the health of women and girls is very stronger than preserving our traditional culture, Mr. Speaker. If you are advocating for preserving traditional culture, Mr. Speaker, you should be here in traditional attire, because you are saying that according to neocolonialism, that is why we left our traditional ways. You should start living in huts. You should not go into classes, Mr. Speaker. You should not learn Western things. Even the debate is Western stuff, Mr. Speaker. You cannot use a Western system to go and tell in a Western system, Mr. Speaker. That doesn't make any sense. Then moving on to the point made by the opposition leader, she came here, the first point she said was the point she said was that we will lose more than we are gaining, Mr. Speaker, which is very, very true. We want to be in alliances with countries like this. What we need immediately is more job opportunities and improved healthcare system, improved educational system, which is being provided by other countries like India. That's why our alternative to this is that, because we're not going to tell you that we're not going to join something and not give you what we are going to join. As an opposition bench, we are going to accelerate the government, these more people sitting here. We're going to push them forward to make sure that they accelerate the Spain-Gambia agreement. And I'm going to make it very, very clear that there's no part of the agreement that talks about you doing domestic violence, Mr. Speaker. That was a very shameful point. Then the other point that was made by Howard is going to be a threat to our national security, which is very, very true. If you make alliances with countries, the chances of you inheriting enemies of those countries like Nigeria, yes.
Would your argument stand if the situation was in the past? If so, how?
Mr. Speaker, if I can ask you a question, I'll ask you what the relevance of that POI was, Mr. Speaker. Moving on. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. She was talking about how it's a threat to our national security, which is very, very true. It is a threat to our national security because the moment you join or make alliances, you are inheriting their enemies. If they are fighting with you, but then they are also going to be fighting with you. Moving on to my own point, Mr. Speaker, my first point is that the benefit of the Sahel alliance is already being catered for. If you are advocating for tradition and culture, the Commonwealth is already doing that. Every year we see that people are wearing their traditional attire. Then you are ashamed to wear it to sit down. Then you are ashamed to wear it to this event, because if you are advocating for culture and tradition, very that Commonwealth is doing that, and it fails to, and a Western organization that you think has all money, has done something that you should not do. And sit down, and I'm not taking any yours moving on, Mr. Speaker. And this, on the side of how the Sahel, the thing that Sahel want to give us already being catered for. On the side of MRC Holland, Mr. Speaker, MRC Holland is run by a couple, a white man and a woman who are married. A couple has successfully done what 3 countries have failed to do, Mr. Speaker. It doesn't make any sense. To tell us that you want us to join Sahel when there's just 2 people that are doing more impact than Sahel in this country, Mr. Speaker. Then going to my next one, then to summarize the structure of my debate, Mr. Speaker. First, I came here, I gave you bottles to the point made by the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, which we are to benefit from education about culture, scholarship opportunities, FGM, and then I moved on to strengthen the point made by the opposition leader, which was, we are losing more than we are gaining, and it's a threat to our national security. Then I gave my own point, which is that the benefit of the Sahel is already being catered for by other organizations. Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that if us as a house, if we agree to join the Sahel Alliance, then you are a bad citizen. As the Prime Minister said, if we don't join, we are bad citizens. And convincing you that if we join it, we are in fact bad citizens, Mr. Speaker, because we have misplaced priorities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Opposition Leader. The House is ready to hear from the government member. Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, must I remind this Honorable House that no country is an island. And of course, any country that wants to move and must not join with joining alliances that are formed to promote good governance and development, Honorable Speaker. It is due to this fact that this House, Honorable Speaker, stand and firmly to say that we are joining the Sahel Alliance, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in exactly 7 minutes, this is exactly what I'm going to do, Honorable Speaker. First, I'm going to debunk and trust all the points that are brought forward by this so-called bank, Honorable Speaker. I will strengthen the points that are brought by the government bank. Honorable Speaker, I will give out laconic and trust points. Honorable Speaker, but ultimately I will summarize and in summary, Honorable Speaker, my conclusion. Honorable Speaker, let's start. I will fact check and I will debunk all their points, Honorable Speaker. They mentioned first that MRC Holland America is giving a scholarship to government students, Honorable Speaker. This is false, Honorable Speaker. We all know as university students That MRC Holland is a field that they prioritize is the science, Honorable Speaker. So coming here saying that, MRC Holland gives scholarship to university students, Honorable Speaker, is false and therefore does not stand in this house and is transferred class B, Honorable Speaker. Moving on, sit down there, Honorable Speaker. Moving on, they mentioned about Mohas, that Mohas also gives scholarship, Honorable Speaker. And I will tell you again, Mohas and MRC Holland, their scholarship priorities are for the sciences. Therefore, the other fields are negated, and therefore, this is why we want to join the Sahel Alliance to ensure that our students have what we call scholarship to go and study abroad, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, moving on, I think the teachers, they are sitting down here with fools here, Honorable Speaker. They mentioned about BBC, and I will tell you today, the other point is false, and therefore does not work, Honorable Speaker. She mentioned that BBC is reported at 25 million, and again she came back and said $25 that must be contributed for people, for countries that are part of the Sahel movement, Honorable Speaker. This will tell you that they are not current on issue, Honorable Speaker. There is a newspaper called the Lagos Times in Nigeria, which has reported through that reporter Dr. Francis Ayola, who said that the Sahel movement or the Sahel Alliance is a free alliance whereby nations do not contribute even a penny. So that coming here telling us about BBC, which is definitely not true, Honorable Speaker. Moving on, Honorable Speaker, they mentioned about employment opportunities, and I am so glad that they mentioned this. It is because of employment opportunities, that is why, as a government, we said we are going to join the Sahel Alliance. This will ensure that we have, our people employed, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I think, it is clear that these people, they are just, lost, Honorable Speaker. If you check the Sahel Alliance countries, such as Mali, Burkina Faso, and then you have Ivory Coast and others, they have an employment rate of, 65%. The citizens are employed of 65%, and the Gambia, according to the National Youth Council, we have 38% of unemployment, Honorable Speaker. So if you check at if you check and compare, you will know that the Sahel nations are doing very well. So if you know this, we are definitely going to join the Sahel nations to ensure that our people are employed, Honorable Speaker. Those are some of the points that I intend to send to the class, because they are from people that are from Mali, Honorable Speaker. Moving on, Honorable Speaker, to from the structure of my debate, I said I'm going to give out points, and I have only 3 laconic and tasks, Honorable Speaker. My first point is the promotion of regional ties, Honorable Speaker. I repeat, no country is an island. There is no country that will definitely develop and survive without joining alliance, Honorable Speaker. And this is why we as a government, we are saying that this South and the Gambia will join this Sahel Alliance to ensure that we promote what we call regional ties, Honorable Speaker. And this regional ties, they will ask me how and why. We are going to ensure that we face it based on the economic aspect and the military aspect, Honorable Speaker. Go to Mali, go to Burkina Faso, you realize that they are very strong, their military base is very strong. So before Gambia is sending, our military officials to Turkey for training, Honorable Speaker, we have people that are very close here, like in Africa. We can send them there, they will train there, Honorable Speaker, and which will be less, expensive, Honorable Speaker. So due to, this reason, Honorable Speaker, I start partnering with the government bank to tell you that we are going to join the Sahel Alliance because we want to promote regional ties through economic and trade benefit and military benefit, Honorable Speaker. Moving on, Honorable Speaker, to my second point, that is to foster and enhance development, Honorable Speaker. Go and check, these, Sahel Alliance nations, such as Burkina Faso, Mali, etc. They are railways, they have started railways. So as a government, we want to introduce the same to the Gambia, and this is why we want to join the Sahel Island to ensure that we develop an infrastructure based on Honorable Speaker. This will help us to build railways, because these were areas that they have experts in this area. So they will send their experts here through a scheme program to help us have infrastructure development, Honorable Speaker. Moving on to my final point, Honorable Speaker, which is the promotion of commercial agriculture, Honorable Speaker. I will tell you, in the Gambia, we have subsistence agriculture, and there is no what we call commercial and mechanized agriculture. If you go to Mali, you go to Burkina Faso, and you check about this Sahel Alliance names, Honorable Speaker, they are what we call commercial and mechanized agriculture, Honorable Speaker. So due to this, as a country that want to propel, that we have a fertile land, Honorable Speaker, so that's Ghana and Paradise State, we will definitely join the Sahel Islands to ensure the food support from their Sahel annual grant. They will help us to fund projects that will definitely help us to improve our agriculture sector, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, moving on, and then I will tell you how are we going to do this. The Prime Minister came here and made it very clear that yes, of course, we have what you call, they met Sahel Alliance, they met just 2 weeks back, and they expected to meet on the 25th of May 2025 in Mali to ensure that they put in conditions that would help people to join, Honorable Speaker. So
So one of the conditions that they revealed by Standard newspaper was that a country must be a sovereign nation first before the honorable speaker. And to this honorable speaker, we are going to ensure that we join because the conditions that they lay down are not in contrary to our laws, are not in contrary to what we want as a nation, honorable speaker. Moving honorable speaker, due to time, I will now give you the summary of my debate. What I have done here in just 7 minutes, honorable speaker. First, I have debunked and of course, send all the points to the class because they don't hold water and do not make sense as part of the debate discussion of the speaker. One of the points they said, Emerging Holland and Mohas gives scholarship to university students. And I repeat that Emerging Holland gives scholarship and prioritize only science areas, and Mohas also prioritize more of science areas and have political and school journalism who cannot secure scholarship for Mohas. So it baffles me if they tell us that Mohas gives scholarship of the speaker to all students. And they also lie here, they say BBC reported 25 million and CK man said $25 for the speaker, which does not hold water. And I said the Lagos newspaper is a time for Lagos newspaper time, indicating clearly that Design Alliance is a free and of course Alliance honorable speaker. And the time when I mentioned was employment opportunity honorable they said. And I'm happy that they said this because employment opportunity, this is why we want to join the Design Alliance so that our people are employed through a skill program, they can work in this Alliance honorable speaker. Moving on, I gave 3 points which are laconic, terms and precise, and which of course they have no point to argue about. One point was promotion of regional ties, which were through economic and military honorable speaker. The second point was foster and enhance development through infrastructure, and third point was promotion of commerce and agriculture and mechanized agriculture because the Gambia we are not practicing honorable speaker. Due to this, I firmly believe that this house will believe with me that this house as Gambia will join the Sahel Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, government member. The House is ready to hear from the opposition member. Yeah. Please state your name while debating.
Yeah, why is it?
Alright, before the opposition member speaks, short notice to all public speakers. Please ensure that all the public speakers are in house and We did inform them during the last round that there is a possibility that they won't have time to prepare. And fortunately or unfortunately, that is the case. It is going to be exactly impromptu. You will receive your topic when you are speaking. So it's going to be 0 minutes for preparation. And you are going to speak on the motion. You are going to be on standby. Opposition member, please, present.
Honorable Speaker and all that are present in this House today, Lukman Said Bambua is the name. In my capacity as the opposition member of this House, I will start by giving the structure of my debate. I will start by debunking the baseless and tasteless points made by the government member, strengthening the points made by the opposition bench, bring my own points, then summarize. In summary, I shall then conclude. Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we have this bunch of government members in this House coming in front of us here giving very baseless points. Their points were as feeble as the points given by a toddler. Now, starting with the first point given by the government member, saying that Gambia should join the Sahel region because of it will lead to promotion of regional ties. Who told him that Gambia is not having regional ties? Who told him that Gambia is not having a good ties with these countries? We are already having ties with them. So what would this add to the Gambia's improvement? This is not going to improve anything to the Gambia because we are already having, please allow me to indicate you. We are already having good ties with all the Sahel nations. So there is no need for us to join them in order to have a regional ties with them. Now, when he gave an example, so what's that point? Debunking that point, he gave an example saying that Gambia will improve when it comes to strong military forces because this Sahel nation, they are having strong military forces. Just 2 months ago, and Russia, Vladimir Putin supplied Burkina Faso with soldiers while it is strengthening the army of Burkina Faso. And if it's here, adding an example to the point, promotion of regional ties, using because of their strong military, that was a very feeble point from him. Going to his second point, which is development of infrastructure. Who told him that we need to join them in order to improve our infrastructure? Are we not improving our infrastructure without the help of these regional nations? Now, take a look at an example is the OIC. When we wanted to develop the OIC, who did we invite? Didn't we invite China and India? When we wanted to develop the Faraba campus, didn't we invite the Indians? So if you are here telling us, Burkina Faso, that is an underdeveloped country, you are telling us that we have to join the Sahel nation that are developing countries, we have to join them in order to improve our infrastructure. That was a very feeble point from the government member. Allow me to put some sense in your coconut head. Now, the third point he gave was commercial agriculture. Commercial agriculture, a country that is struggling to eat. They are telling us that we should develop ties with them in a group of nations that are struggling for what to eat. They are telling us that we should join them so that we can develop our commercial agriculture. That was a very good point. If we wanted to develop to develop our commercial agriculture, we will develop our ties with China because they are the most improved. All the rice we are eating in this country are coming from China, almost all of them. So now, those points we are very useful and I can't waste much of my time on them. Moving on to the opposition bench. A point made by the opposition leader, which says it can lead to loss of finance. Indeed, how can we spend $25 million just to join this Sahel nation? For what reason? What are we going to benefit out of it? And they will not tell us any benefit that we can get out of it. So spending $25 million, that money can be diverted to the health sector, wherein we can improve our health sector. That money can be diverted to our agricultural sector, wherein we can improve it and start producing our local stock. So why should we do that? And that was a massive and explosive point from opposition leader. Now moving to my explosive point. Number one point I will start by. It will encourage coup d'etat. As we can see, most of those countries that are in the Sahel region, all of them are being led by what? Junta government. Wherein all of them came into power by overthrowing their presidents. So if we go into that, this will what? It will go against the constitutional mandate of the president. Because when the president is elected, we should give him 5 years for him to be ruled. This is what we agreed on. So joining these people, this will just motivate the people of the country to go against constitutional mandates of the president, where people will be coming in and then committing coup d'etat. Because joining them now will be encouraging the citizens that this is a good step, since these people are leading by that example. My second and explosive point, it will thwart the democratic aspiration of the Gambia. We just came out of dictatorship for 22 years, and now you people want us to join people who are being led by a dictator. I don't know how. So you want all our efforts by bringing all other parties just to remove these people out of power. Now you want us again to go and make ties with people that are being led by a junta. Are you not tired of dictatorship? We are tired. So now, moving to my third point, Honorable Speaker of this House, it can lead to isolation of the Gambia. How? Gambia depends totally or mostly in international funds. Now let's take example. When we come to the OIC, who funded it? The international people funded it. Now we saw those people that are in this Sahel alliance. All of them or most of them are being abandoned by the international community. And these people, we are depending on these people. And Gambia is one of those countries that depend greatly in the international community. So joining these people just means that they are going to cut ties with us. Then also, yes, please.
What measures do you have to reduce the Gambia's deficit to the security alliance?
Exactly, that is where we are going now. We are going to embark on this agricultural development, mechanized agriculture, wherein we can produce more stocks in which we can generate profit and then reduce our debt. Please, I believe that is enough for you. Now, moving to my fourth point, which is it can diminish the reputation of the Gambia. Gambia, according to the New York Times, Gambia is the second most democratic country in West Africa. Everybody knows Gambia to be a very democratic country. So why should we go and join people who are not democratic? Tell me how? Why should we do that? Doing that is going to tarnish the reputation of our country. So we should not join these people. So this is why we as the people of the Gambia should stand firm against this, and we should not join these people in the Sahel region. Honorable Speaker, now, this is for these 4 points that I've given. This is why this House, as Gambia, should not join the Sahel Alliance. So, after giving all these my 4 points, I shall now then summarize. I started by debunking the useless points made by the government member, then strengthening, and those points were the first one of them, promotion of regional ties, and 2, development of infrastructure, and 3, commercial agriculture, which made no sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Opposition member in absentia. The House is ready to hear from the last speaker of the government bench to summarize the government's agreement. Yeah.
Winston Churchill once observed that the world is a global village, and interdependence of states on one another is a necessity. Mr. Speaker and members of the House, in my capacity as the government whip, this is going to be the structure of my debate. I first begin by reviewing the cases of the members of the opposition. I'll stating the cases of the government. I'll bring forward my argument, summarize, and in summary, I'll conclude. Mr. Speaker, before debunking the cases of the members of the opposition, please let me take them to school. First, let me begin with the opposition leader and tell her that there is nowhere on the face of the earth that we have a reliable source that is called world record. She gave statistics there and said it is according to world record. World record doesn't exist, so that point doesn't start. She also said that her partner said that she said that Ukraine is a part of NATO. Ukraine is not a part of NATO. Her partner also said that the Rwandan genocide was as a result of the Commonwealth of Nations. Mr. Speaker, the Rwandan genocide was as a result of the Rwandan genocide. To move on to review, the opposition leader said that MRC Holland gives scholarship. She did not tell us how many students at the University of the Gambia are given scholarship by the MRC Holland Foundation, and she did not tell us in which schools they are. I am a student of the School of Journalism. I don't benefit from that scholarship. My partner doesn't benefit. The members of the government are from the School of Political Science. They don't benefit. So we call that scholarship. Of course, we don't. You must not praise those people for that scholarship. She also said that we cannot join the Sahel states because of Gambia's economic bracket. The Gambia's economic bracket is in fact the reason why we are going to join the Sahel states, to make sure that we benefit from them financially and to ensure that economic growth. I'm not taking it. She also said that the annual contribution is high and said that every state contributes $25 million. But then a member of the opposition later came and told us that every state contributes $25 million. She said dollars and a member of our bench said dollars. Which is it dollar or dollars? It's a contradiction, meaning they don't agree with each other. Mr. Speaker, to move on, they talked about national security threat. Mr. Speaker, joining the Sahel Alliance is not a national security threat. Instead, it is going to help us to grow our national security. How? Because that we will be able to train our soldiers in the countries that are member states of the Sahel Alliance. Mr. Speaker, the opposition leader said science is more useful. Since he is discriminating people from other fields of study. That means you are not qualified to sit here and talk. Mr. Speaker, to move on to strengthen the cases of the members of the government. The Prime Minister said that the Gambia is going to benefit from educational assistance if we became a member of the Sahel Alliance. And Mr. Speaker, I agree with that. Why? According to the Associated Press, in January this year, Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso and the head of the Sahel Alliance, waived tuition fee for all university students in Burkina Faso and started giving them stipends at the end of every month. All of us here are university students. Don't you want to be given stipend at the end of every month by your state? Of course you want to. That is why as a government, we are going to join the Sahel Alliance to make sure that we waive tuition fee for you. You go to school for free and we pay you for going to school. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Prime Minister also talked about social connection, cohesion and correlation. Mr. Speaker, yes, being a part of the Sahel Alliance is going to improve our social connections with those people. These people are our neighbors. I would choose to be connected with these people than to be connected with people that are outside there. Mr. Speaker, moving on to the government member, he went on to strengthen the case of the Prime Minister that we are going to benefit from educational assistance. And by saying that, he said that not only are you going to benefit from money to make sure that we waive tuition fee for students and give them stipend, but we are going to benefit from different education, technical and vocational education training for our students. Mr. Speaker, he also talked about trade ties. How how are we going to benefit from trade ties if we become a part of the Sahel state? That is, as a member of the Sahel state, all of us and all parts of the Sahel state are going to make sure that we have a single currency that we would use, that we will not be using Dalasi, Mali be using CFA and other countries using different currencies. We are going to make sure that we have a single currency and we are going to call it the Sahel currency. We will use it in trade. Mr. Speaker, he also said, he also talked about infrastructural development, which a member of the opposition tried to rebuild by saying that it is China who gave us the UTG Faraba campus and the OIC. Come on, honorable opposition member. By the time those projects were starting, there was no alliance of Sahel states. Mr. Speaker, to move on to my own point. My first point is that it is going to strengthen us being a part of the Sahel Alliance. It's going to strengthen regional security. How is it going to strengthen regional security? Because we are all West Africans. We are all a part of an alliance that is fighting against neocolonialism, against Western imperialism. Therefore, if we come together as an alliance, we are going to make sure that we send soldiers, we exchange soldiers to each other's country, we exchange military intelligence and weapons to make sure that we secure each other's country. He also said, my second point is the fact that us being a part of the Sahel Alliance is going to make sure that we reduce our dependency on the United States of America and Europe and other parts of the West. Mr. Speaker, let me give you an example. By the beginning of this year, the almighty Donald Trump, the Great, became president of the United States. The first action he took was to halt all United States support to African countries by doing what? By dismantling the United States Agency for International Development. And we are suffering. Many people in this country who were working in NGOs and civil society organizations have lost their jobs and are not employed. Why? Because Donald Trump decided that I am the American president, and as a result, I'm not going to give any aid to an African country. Therefore, these people are not employed and they don't have, they are not making a living anywhere. Mr. Speaker, if we it is going to reduce our dependency on the United States and the West, therefore we are going to be able to depend on each other, and even if a Western president comes and says I'm not going to give aid to Africa, it is not going to harm us in any way. Even if it's going to harm us, the harm is going to be very limited. Mr. Speaker, to summarize, I first began by putting their cases in the trust. I strengthened the cases of members of the government. I gave 2 points. The first one being that us being a part of the Sahel state is going to strengthen regional security. The second one being the reduction of dependency on the United States of America and other parts of the West. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I conclude by telling you that as a government, we are proposing that we will be a part of the Sahel Alliance only if the work we are doing on the ground, as the Prime Minister mentioned, that we already had a meeting with other countries who are members of the Sahel Alliance, that we will be a part of the Sahel Alliance if these people who came to power through coup, if they are ready to organize elections in their countries and follow due process, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, the issue of illegality doesn't start. On that note, I thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much, Government Whip. The House is ready to hear from the last speaker of the debate and the last member of the opposition bench. That is the opposition whip. Yeah. Deputy Opposition Leader, where is your leader? Okay, Opposition Leader, please proceed.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings, Mr. Speaker. I am Abdullah Jaju. In my capacity as the opposition whip, I will start by giving the structure of my debate. So I will first of all refuse the points of the opposition, especially that of the government whip. I will strengthen a point of the opposition, opening opposition. I will strengthen the massive and explosive points of my opposition member, and then I will take POIs if there is any, and I will summarize, and in summarizing I shall conclude. So starting off, the Prime Minister came and laid a claim that joining the Alliance of Sahel States will free us from neo-colonialism. I say how? Because if you look at our neighbors, which are Senegal, they have a leadership that is transforming their country away from neo-colonialism. But they have no dictatorship, they have no junta leadership, and they did not join the Alliance of Sahel States. Sit down, let me educate you. The Deputy Prime Minister also came and said this will, joining the Alliance of Sahel States will increase economic ties, but did not tell us how. How will it increase the economic ties? What ties do we already have to improve with these Sahel countries? And then I'll move on to the points of the government member who said, joining this alliance is going to waive education fees for us in Gambia? How? How is joining this alliance going to waive the tuition fee of a boy from the village in Kiam going to the UTT? How will it waive the education fees for them? He also gave a point saying this will give integration of regional trade. Sit down, let me educate you. Now we have a geographic neighbor, that's Senegal. This Sahel country, Senegal is between us and the Sahel countries. So joining the Sahel countries does not automatically open the ways for us into the Sahel countries. These are Burkina Faso, Guinea-Conakry and the Bissaus. We have Senegal between us. If Senegal does not open their ways, we are still enclosed away from the Sahel state. So how does this improve regional integration? He also mentioned that this will strengthen regional security. Sit down, let me educate you. Now, he said this will improve regional security. I asked how. We already have an alliance, which is the economic countries of West African states, which is a bigger alliance than the Alliance of Sahel States. So why is that alliance, the ECOWAS, not more important to us than the Alliance of Sahel States, which is just 3 countries, and they cannot do well for themselves? He also said it will reduce dependency on the USA. How? What the USA is giving us, can the Sahel Alliance provide? No. Yes, please. Sorry, your 15 seconds is up, and you couldn't complete your question. I was still listening, please. So, I think the government bench forgot. I think the government bench forgot that as it stands now, I want this to be clear to the House, Mr. Speaker. As it stands now, the alliance is only for defense. The alliance has no policy on education, on trade, and other things apart from defense. So I think the government bench has forgotten that. Moving on to strengthen a point from the opening opposition, it says the benefits that the government bench claim that we will have from joining this alliance are already in existence. We are seeing infrastructural development, for example, from the OIC. We are seeing scholarship from the Chinese government scholarship, for example. So all these benefits that they claim will come as a result of joining the alliance are already in existence, as the deputy opposition leader mentioned. So moving on to strengthening the points of the opposition member, he said joining this alliance will encourage coup d'etats. And this is very true, Mr. Speaker. All these members of this Sahel Alliance, the current leadership came on through what? Coup d'etats. So us as a country, as Gambia, joining this alliance, we are acknowledging their leadership, which is contrary to the mandate provided by their constitutions, which is the mandate given by the people through the ballot box. So the second massive and explosive point of the opposition member is that, yes please,
tell us how your alternative will work step by step.
Our alternatives, we are on that. So we said that instead of focusing
on joining the alliance to get benefits. Why not look at yourself retrospectively and then see what is wrong within our country and try to fix them? And rather than depending on other people, you are saying we should not depend on USA, but we are depending on other countries as well. We should depend on ourselves. Moving on, he also said that one opposition member, the second point is that it will thwart the democratic aspirations of our country. The Gambia is a young democracy. We just came from a 22-year-long dictatorship, and our aspirations is to build a mature democracy. We are still growing. So if we are acknowledging the leadership of dictators, what are we telling our people then? That dictatorship is okay, this is not okay. And this, Mr. Speaker, is why we are saying this House as Gambia should not join the Sahel Alliance. He also mentioned that the Gambia will be isolated internationally. And also, he mentioned that this will diminish the reputation of the Gambia. The opposition member stated that according to the New York Times, a report by the New York Times on the 25th of January 2025, the Gambia is ranked as the second best democracy in West Africa. So that being the case, we should not mix this reputation, international reputation, for joining the alliance, which is going to damage this reputation. So, Mr. Speaker, I have started by debunking and refuting the baseless points of the opposition bench. I have taken a point from the deputy opposition leader, and then I have strengthened the massive and explosive points of my government member, which are encouraging coup d'etat, trying democratic aspirations, isolation of the Gambia, and diminishing the reputation of the Gambia. And this is why we should not join the Sahel Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members of the House, we may want to excuse you for now so that we can have other public speakers. Yeah. Can we have the public speakers, please? Can we have JSA? Can we have SSA? Can we have Unigamsa? Can we have Sosa? So for the purpose of understanding, this is how the process for the public speaking is going to be. First, we're giving them numbers, so each of them is going to pick a number which will correspond to the motion of We call it practice public speaking. Then we've reached a compromise. Instead of giving them 0 minutes to prepare, we are going to deduct 1 minute from your presentation and make that as a preparation. So instead of presenting now for 5 minutes, you present for 4 minutes and prepare for 1 minute. What you prepare on the podium as your point. What I'm saying is normally you're given 5 minutes to present. So because maybe it will be very tough for you to just present on the spot. You've deducted 1 minute. We've deducted 1 minute from your normal time and dedicated that to preparation. So you will prepare for 1 minute and present for 4 minutes. You ready? Sorry, which school is number 1? SSA. Please ascend to podium. I'm giving you a motion on the podium. SSA, your prompt is, if I met a historical figure, if I met a historical figure, ... The time starts now. Time is up. Please mention your name.
Mine?
Name.
Mohammed Samsudin Suwad.
Mr. Suwada, your time starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, I would want to give a confession. And that is, so the confession that I want to give is, as I stand here, I feel 3 things. 1, excited. 2, nervous. And 3, the chicken I have just eaten right now, battling with my thoughts. So ladies and gentlemen, the topic that is given today is if I met a historical figure. So ladies and gentlemen, imagine you are walking towards the streets of Banjul and you come across a historical monument. What will come to your mind? I personally, the first thing that is going to come to my mind is what inspires this particular historical figure. So ladies and gentlemen, you come to realize that most historical figures that we see in this world today represents a symbol of the struggles that people went through in their lives. This is something that we all go through in our lives. Life throws us different mayhems. We come across with different adversities. But it is people who use these adversities as not to ask the question why it is happening to me, but what can I do to overcome such adversities. And that is exactly how their monuments come to existence in art, so that people could honor what they have done for us. Imagine you have a cup of coffee in your hands, and then someone bumps into you, and then I ask, why do you spill this cup of coffee? What will you say? What are you going to say? It is because somebody bumps into you. Ladies and gentlemen, this somebody bumping into you represents the struggles that people face in their lives. And the answer to that question is not because somebody bumps into you, but it is because there is a coffee inside that particular cup. Because if it was a tea, I would have asked, why did you spill a cup of tea? So, these historical moments that we see within our society are symbols of the struggles that these people have overcome. It is not that life does not present such struggles to them, but it is because they were able to overcome such struggles. So ladies and gentlemen, having talked about that, let us talk about why do people settle on the idea of establishing a historical figure. For example, in the Gambia, we have the 22nd July Academy Ash. We also have certain historical moments, like the stone statue. What does it represent? They represent our histories. So people do this to ensure that they can share a particular information from their generation to the other generation. People also build historical monuments or figures to give honor to individuals that have passed away. For example, some of us with football enthusiasts will understand that when a particular football person enters a particular club, if this individual does incredible things and he or she is leaving, what do? They erect a figure of him. We have seen the figures of the ones of like who? Lionel Messi. We have seen the ones of who? Pele. Where is Pele today? Pele is there. So if someone should walk through the streets of Brazil and comes across a historical relic that belongs to Pele, what will come to their mind? Who is this individual? Why is he here? And what inspires such a figure to exist in this kind of place? So ladies and gentlemen, in all essence, they represent their struggles. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative of SSA.
Number 2, Sosa. Aliu. Please assume the podium.
Mr. Conte, your prompt is the craziest dream I ever had was. The craziest dream I ever had was. dot, dot. The time starts now. Your time is up. Mr. Conte, you may start.
Imagine dealing with a young boy that does not even have a chance to be able to move from Wellingara to Kunkuja, dreaming of becoming a president in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. As a boy growing up in my village, I dreamt of becoming a president in the United States of America. But how does this dream came about? One day, as I sat down chatting with my elder brother, I told him that Barack Obama, as the first black president in the United States, is not originally from the United States. Rather, his father was someone who came from Kenya. And then I said, because of that, and because my father is born in the Gambia, I am also going to be born, so long as I am born in the Gambia, I am also going to become a president in the United States. This dream was something that propelled me to do hard, to make sure that I learn, even though chances and opportunities are not provided. But I believe that with the education that I would have, with the triumph that I would have from my external examinations, I would be able to have the chance to travel to the United States. So I didn't bother to see if this is going to happen. However, I went in to make sure that I have this dream clinched. Growing up, I had to go to high school. From high school, I went into a university, met friends. So one fateful day, I met this friend from the United States and then spoke to him about my aim of later joining the United States and then eventually becoming the president of the United States. Though he explained to me that being a president in the United States, there is a requisite. That is, you should be a citizen of the United States. That way, I learned that truly, it is not possible for a Gambian to become a president in the United States. However, I knew this was a crazy dream that I had growing up. And with this, I never relent. Even though I realized that this dream is one that cannot be achieved, but then I knew that I have to learn through the process. Growing up, doing the efforts, learning on my own, and doing everything that is possible to make sure that I learn from friends, from the school, just to make sure that this dream is achieved. Even though it is not achieved, but I learned that resilience is something that is paramount in people's life. Not only that, but I also learned that friends sometimes are good to keep, especially good ones, especially people that have a know-how about whatever you have to do in this world. Because I met this friend, it helped me to realize that this dream is one that is unachievable. However, I learned that because I was hardworking, and then I make sure that I do whatever is expected of me to make sure that I get to this dream, even though it is impossible, but then I have to learn on the process, and yes, that is how I realized that this was my craziest dream. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Content. Number 3, JSA. What's the name? Jukai. Sukai or Jukai? Sukai Fadajo. Let's assume the podium. Miss Fatajo, you're from Greece. If I could solve one main problem, if I could solve one main problem, dot, dot, dot. Time starts now.
If you can speak, you can influence. And if you can influence, you can change lives. Your voice matters. Use it. Your actions count. Make them meaningful. From ink to voice, from silence to solutions, from speaking to hearing. I speak, not because I want to speak, but in speaking, I shall be heard. Distinguished guests, respected judges, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow speakers, I greet you all. I am Sukay Fatajo, a proud representative from the School of Journalism and Digital Media. Today, my topic of discussion would be, if I will solve one main problem, what will it be? To my own understanding, I think I will put this in relation of the theme that we are celebrating today as VCNC. Empowering young voices for the promotion of youth in sustainable development. If I could solve one problem, that would be the problem of the youth. However, I would like to give the structure of my speech. First of all, I would like to talk about sustainable development and youth involvement. Secondly, I would like to give examples of youth involvement. Thirdly, I would like to give solutions to youth involvement. And fourthly, I would like to give barriers and examples that are limiting youth involvement in this country. And in conclusion, I will give you solutions. However, today, I stand here in front of you, not just as a student, but as a young voice, one among millions in the global world who believe in a much more sustainable and future world. Today, I stand here to represent those voices who are among you, voices who can be me, voices who can be you, and voices who can be anyone present in this room. However, I can relate this to a scenario. A young girl in the rural Gambia gathered children around her. She had no books, just an old newspaper. She had no chalkboard, just a voice. But that voice, determined, clear and brave, were able to take those children to dream. Not just to dream, but to achieve those goals. That voice could be me. That voice could be you. That voice could be any other voice present in these youth. That voice could be the youth. However, I would like to define what empowering young voices means. Empowering young voices means giving the youth confidence, platform, and tools to express their opinions and take action. And in relation to promotion of sustainable development, which means encouraging the ability of future generations to meet their needs economically, socially, and environmentally. However, the role of youth in innovation and advocacy. Youth are very important in our country, and I want to believe that we are all youth present in this room. In the sustainable development, we had the SDGs, that were the sustainable development goals, and we had the MDGs, Millennium Sustainable Development Goals. The MDGs were the first to be established in 2000, and then from 2000 to 2015, there were just 8 goals to eradicate poverty and to improve the living conditions of people. However, the SDGs, which included 17 goals, later came by, and those goals were including every country and also for the youth. And those youths are we that are present in this room. And I would like to talk about education. Education is very important in youth because a voice with knowledge becomes a force. Opportunity because a platform turns ideas into impact. Inclusion because silence is not golden. It draws out truth. Empower us and don't silence us. Empower us and don't dismiss us. Empower us and don't disregard us. Empower us because we are not the future, we are now. And when I say now, I mean this very minute. We are the youth. In conclusion,
Thank you very much. Ms. Patajo? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are ready to hear from the last speaker of the public speaking category. Ms. Paduso from Unidanza. And by default, you're number 4. And your prompt reads, if there was a country I could visit, it would be. If there was a country I could visit, it would be ... The time starts now. Can start.
I'm the new answer. probably xale bi xalaatam bi dafa sori wala sax maybe daf ko planoon ba pare. But the reality is, I think every man has the right to dream, and every man has the right to put their dreams into reality. So when he said, if there was a country I could visit, I smiled out of happiness, for I knew this was something I always wanted to share. Assalamu alaikum, first of all, to you all, members of the high table, my family, Union Gamsa, who is here to support, and everyone present here. I started with Assalamu alaikum, for that is the teaching of our beloved Prophet. As a matter of fact, if there was a country I could visit, it is none other than Saudi Arabia. Everyone knew I had this delusion in my head for the past 8 months. I would tell my friend right there, Yasser, I would want to go for Umrah. It is not just because everyone else is going for Umrah. I have my reason. As a matter of fact, permit me to highlight the reasons as to why I would go to Saudi Arabia. I read the story of a great man. He, Rasulullah, taught me the virtues of patience. He, Rasulullah, taught me the virtues of being kind to my parents. He, Rasulullah, taught me how to forgive people even if they wrong me. He, Rasulullah, taught me the art of humanity. So tell me, wouldn't it be right to visit such a man? Wouldn't it be right to visit a blessed country as Saudi Arabia? Wouldn't it be right if I'm asked, where would I love to visit? Or a country that I would love to be one day, to say nothing or nowhere but Saudi Arabia. I know we all have this childhood fantasy of, if I could visit a country, it would be America. If I could visit a country, it would be Canada. If I could visit a country, it would be France. But I asked myself, what would I gain by visiting those countries? The virtue of visiting a country should at least be, let you be in that country and gain something from it. Let it provide the inner peace that you have been searching for. And I think the only place that I would visit, I would get the inner peace that I need, is Saudi Arabia. So I will throw this question back to you all. Putting bias aside, let's forget what our friends say, and let's forget what the society thinks of all of us. If we were to choose a destination for studies, where would you have been? I personally would have been in nowhere but Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much.